Hi guys, and welcome to my 5th tutorial on getting started with Adobe Photoshop making a DVD cover. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay guys, so this is where we're at with this project so far based on the previous 4 tutorials. I'm going to open up another project to show you what we're aiming for at this stage. Now you can open up another project when you have a Photoshop project already open. So I shall show you now what happens. So if I go to the other project I want to view. So here is the project that I want to view at the same time as the one I already have open. So double click on this and then you'll see the tabs up here change in the project that we already had open. So we now have the new project that I've just opened. This is the previous project. So we can switch in between 2 different projects. Also, using the eraser tool over here, I cleaned up the edge along the top of the roofs of the cars here. So if I switch back and zoom in using the Control Plus, I erased the background in order to get a cleaner edge along the top of the roof line here. The background was still showing in these windows sections, so I removed that. Also, if I Control Plus and zoom in the previous project we removed the tax disc on this car using the clone stamp tool over here. I then continued to remove as many imperfections as I could, including the number plates on the cars. So you can see if I compare the two now, so that is how the cars look in this new project. If I flip back to our project, you can see I've removed this area of the tree. There's also a little bit of a signpost showing there and some reflections that I didn't want. So I've cleaned up the image. I've also, using the Control and T function, I grabbed one of these corners and actually stretched out the image a little bit. So without holding down the Shift key, I grabbed a handle and actually pulled and stretched this image a little bit because I wanted to make the cars look a little bit sleeker. So if we switch back to the previous project, you see that's how they looked, but I actually stretch the image slightly to give them a bit more of a sleeker look. Finally, if I zoom in here, not only did I clean up this edge using the eraser tool, I also added a bit of a blur so that it would look softer and merge in with the background. In order to do this, if I switch back now to our project and zoom in again, so I zoomed in as close as I could to the edge of the roof and the windows of the cars here, and then cleaned up this edge using the eraser tool like so. And then at this stage I came over to this image, right clicked and clicked on Flatten Image. When we flatten the image, it means that the background image and the foreground image that we're using will now act as one image. This is what we need from now on. So if we click on the Flatten Image, click on OK, we can now, if we come over here to the Blur tool, so select the Blur tool, we can blur this edge. Holding the left button down on the mouse, we can blur the edge of the window of the car and the rooftops of the car with the image that we placed in the background. So with a little bit of time and patience, the combination of the blur tool and the eraser tool, we can end up with a clean edge like this. Okay guys, so a bit of a review today over the last 2 tutorials. We've also looked at flattening the image, how to switch between tabs in projects in Photoshop, and also how to use the blur tool. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.